You're listening to Moonlight Tales audio, where love and destiny intertwine. Tonight's story, Growing to Love You, a tale of fate and devotion. Night had fallen hard on the little street. Inside a dim house, a child's muffled cries were swallowed by the dark. "Where did you hide the money? Tell me," a rough voice barked. The child, no more than 10, curled into herself, trembling. She wrapped her thin arms around her bruised body, trying to be small, trying to disappear. "I didn't hide anything. Please, don't hit me anymore, Shun, it hurts," she stammered, barely audible. The blows kept coming. Each slap echoed like thunder in the tiny room. Her screams grew louder, then softer, then silence, until she slipped into unconsciousness on the cold floor. From the raised bed, an old woman watched, cigarette still between her fingers. "Stop it," she muttered at last, tossing the cigarette away. "If you kill the thing, I'll have to deal with it." The man paused, only long enough to grumble. "Tomorrow, you watch her. I don't trust that one. She's sneaky." "Fine. I'm tired." The woman yawned and rolled over. They turned the light off and slept like nothing had happened. On the cold floor, the child woke, ache in every bone and an empty ache in her stomach. She looked at the sleeping couple and knew there was nowhere left to stay. She tried to go back to the orphanage, but the night swallowed her sense of direction. So she sat by the roadside and cried. A car pulled over. A man stepped out, concern written across his face. "Hey, kiddo. What are you doing out here so late? You could get hurt." She looked up, tear-streaked and wary. His voice was soft. He knelt down so he wouldn't seem as big. "My name's Ethan," he said. "I'm just passing through and I saw you." "Are you okay?" The girl blinked, voice small. "My name is Lila. I don't have a home. I was at a foster family, but they hit me." Ethan's mouth tightened. Under the streetlight, he could see the bruises, the handprints. "Who did this to you?" he asked. They beat me because they said I didn't bring enough money home," she whispered. Ethan felt anger, sharp and sudden. He looked at her, then at the dark path behind them. "You can come with me. I'll take you to my place. I'll look after you." She hesitated. Promises had been broken before, but when he smiled and reached out his hand, she took it. "Are you sure?" she asked, startlingly small. "I promise," he said. "I'll take care of you." On the drive, Lila's stomach growled. She sniffed the air and pointed at a small cake on the seat. "Uncle, I'm hungry. Could I have that, please?" Ethan laughed and handed it over. "Of course. Eat. There's milk, too. By the way, how old are you?" 10. 25, he replied with a grin. "Eat up." She ate like she'd been given a miracle. For the first time since she could remember, someone had been kind without asking for anything in return. They reached Ethan's apartment late. He carried her inside and laid her gently on a bed in his room, covering her with a thin blanket before heading to the shower. He turned down the air conditioning, pulled a blanket up over her, and slept on a mat on the floor. He wanted to make sure she would be safe. Sometime in the middle of the night, a woman, harsh and quick to anger, noticed the child's absence. "Where's that girl?" she snapped. She called for her husband. They rummaged through the house. When they found her bed empty, the man barely rose from his pillow. "She ran off?" he muttered. "Don't bother looking. No use. We'll just get another one." Sleep. They went back to bed. The child's sudden disappearance barely tilted their night. Morning came. Ethan was late making breakfast. Outside, an older woman waited with a girl named Lana, Ethan's niece, for school. When Ethan finally led Lila down the stairs, the older woman's face shifted from surprise to indignation. "Who is this?" she asked, eyes narrowed. "Why is she in our house?" Before Ethan could answer, Lila bowed her small head and said, "Good morning, ma'am." The woman, Grandma Grace, was not moved. "She looks a mess." "Where did you find her, Ethan?" he explained quietly. "She's from an orphanage. She ran away. Her foster family beat her. I brought her here." Why would you bring a child with no background into this house? Grandma Grace snapped. Take her back to the orphanage. Now, no, Ethan said. I promised her I'd look after her. You're 25 and unmarried, bringing a stray into the house? How will you ever find a wife like that? Grandma Grace demanded. Her voice was full of small, cutting judgments. Ethan only smiled. Saving one life is worth more than a tower of good deeds, Mom. I haven't decided about marriage yet, the older woman scoffed. 25 and still thinking of nonsense. Fine, but don't expect me to approve. Ethan turned to Lana, the little girl who'd been waiting, and said, Take her upstairs. Get her a clean set of clothes. I'll set up the spare room for her. Lana, thrilled at the idea of a new playmate, grabbed Lila's hand and led her away. In the privacy of the stairwell, Lila's voice trembled. Thank you, she whispered. Lana squeezed her hand. You'll be okay. But the relief was short-lived. Grandma Grace, watching from the doorway, glared and snapped. Give me that dress you're wearing. Return it right now, she ordered at Lila. I bought that for Lana. Lila backed behind Ethan, afraid. It was too big for Lana. She gave it to me. The woman's face hardened. If I wanted that dress on some stray, I'd say so. You're here by my son's choice. Don't overstep. Ethan's voice was firm. Mom, I promised her I'd take care of her. That isn't changing. She pressed her lips thin, fury contained but real. Fine. But this house is not a charity. One mistake, and she's out. That day, Ethan set about preparing the spare room. A simple space, but clean and warm. He told Aunt Kira, the housekeeper, to help tidy it. He bought a few small things for Lila and quietly stepped outside, feeling the weight of the decision and the pushback that came with it. As he left, Grandma Grace muttered under her breath, thinking of propriety and reputation. Ethan walked away with Lila's small hand in his, determined in a way that surprised even himself. At night, Lila curled into her new bed. She breathed in the unfamiliar safety and tried not to hope too loudly. Outside, life went on. For some, change came slowly. For others, it began with a single, unexpected